In the Democratic Republic of Congo, the health authorities announced the cure of 2 Ebola patients after 11 days of treatment in Goma, in the east of the country. A new proof that the effectiveness of 2 molecules recently highlighted by an American study. In Libya, the fragile truce adopted by the United Nations and accepted by the fighters was of a short duration, since it lasted only 24 hours. Fighting resumed in the south of the capital, and this Tuesday, the Libyan National Army Air Force, led by Marshal Haftar Khalifa, carried out new strikes in the combat zones in the southern suburb of the capital. Vimbe Champugu, originated from Zimbabwe, has just been crowned Miss London 2019. Due to her height 1.74 m, the 24-year-old woman took part in the competition that took place from 31st July to 1st of August 2019 in Newcastle. This is the first time in the history of this contest that a black woman takes the title. That's all for our top stories today. Stay tuned for more details in this newscast. On D-Day -2, the preparation for the celebration of Gabon at 59 is being carried out successfully. The mayor of Libreville went down on the ground to make the final adjustment. As a field man, he visited various sites to the example of the Memorial, Liomba, and the Independence Square. The goal was to ensure with his own eyes the progress of the works of these different places, but also the last decorations relating to the festivities of the next 16th and 17th August. Libreville already shines at first sight the colors of the flag the day after the Flag Day celebrated on August 9th. Libreville is already shining at first sight in the colors of the flag the day after the Flag Festival celebrated on August 9th. Independence Day continues with Gabon 9 Provinces Festival, which will end this weekend with respectively the traditional laying of a wreath on the tomb of the first president of the Gabonese Republic, Liomba, followed by a civilian parade on the 16th and the Great Military Parade on the 17th. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, health authorities announced the cure of 2 Ebola patients. The announcement was made by Jean-Jacques Muyembe, coordinator of the Ebola response in the Democratic Republic of Congo and a pioneer in the 1970s in the fight against Ebola. We have great joy to announce that of the 4 confirmed cases of Goma, 2 are cured. It is a strong message to us that Ebola is curable. Today, drugs are available, said the professor who is fighting to prevent the spread of the virus in the city of Goma in the east of the country. As a part of a clinical trial in the DRC last Monday, the U.S. health authorities, who co-financed a study on the treatment of Ebola, had already indicated that 2 drugs have significantly increased the patient's survival rate. Out of a total of 681 participants, data from nearly 500 people were analyzed, causing mortality to drop to 29% with the first molecule and to 34% with the second, knowing that people who do not take any treatment have a mortality rate between 60% and 67%. These 2 treatments are therefore monoclonal antibodies which act by neutralizing the ability of the virus to affect other cells. The miraculous ones, the wife of a gold washer who died on 2nd of August in Goma, Esperance Nabintu, and his 1-year-old boy returned home after being declared healed by the doctors. The DRC has been affected by an Ebola epidemic since 1st August 2018, and since July, 4 cases have been registered in Goma, North Kivu capital, fearing the spread of the epidemic in other Congolese cities and neighboring countries. The Libyan belligerents had a hard time abiding by the 24-hour truce during the Eid el-Kabir festival. The forces of Marshal Khalifa Haftar refused to comply with the truce outside Tripoli, and several militias faithful to the government of Fayez el-Sarraj simply ignored. Among these militias, the Sumud Brigade, led by Salah Badi, a militia under sanctions from the United Nations. In particular, he announced that he had launched mortars on Libyan National Army positions north of Tripoli International Airport. On their side, the Libyan National Army forces took advantage of the truce to reposition themselves south of the capital. They also entered the city of Mourzouk, an oasis located near the Chadian border since 2011, which had experienced fighting on the ground of divisions with the presence of armed groups, majority of Chadian Tubus. After airstrikes on extremist elements south of Tripoli, Ashraf Bayouk, a highly reputed militia chief, was killed and another surrendered. This situation relaunches the issue of insecurity that persists in this oasis, the city where the authority of the state lacks the possibility of an intervention and where it is at the mercy of the armed groups, leaving Libya in a new impasse. Arsenal has made it into the new season thanks to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who started his season as he finished the previous one, scoring goals. The joint top scorer of the English Championship of the 2018 and 2019 season with 22 goals has confirmed his position among the best forwards of the First League. It's simple. After 50 matches in the English Championship since he arrived in the United Kingdom, the striker, trained at the AC Milan, holds the prize for the best players in the history of this championship with 33 goals. After the same number of games played overseas, only Alan Shearer, Andrew Cole, Fernando Torres, Kevin Phillips, and Mohamed Salah scored more goals than Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. If the Pharaoh of Anfield is the only scorer to have done better than the Ghana striker since February 2018 with 36 goals, Aubameyang is on the other hand unbeatable level of efficiency. Since arriving in England, he has converted 25.6% of his attempts. No one has done better during this period among 68 players able to score at least 6 goals in the competition. If Arsenal returns to the Champions League at the end of the season, the Gabonese player will probably not be a stranger. An efficiency capable of quickly allowing him to join certain legends of the London club like Thierry Henry and Ian Wright. But to get there, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang will have to add more trophies to his records. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, the health authorities announced the cure of 2 Ebola patients after 11 days of treatment in Goma, in the east of the country. A new proof that the effectiveness of 2 molecules recently highlighted by an American study. In Libya, the fragile truce adopted by the United Nations and accepted by the fighters was of a short duration, since it lasted only 24 hours. Fighting resumed in the south of the capital, and this Tuesday, the Libyan National Army Air Force, led by Marshal Haftar Khalifa, carried out new strikes in the combat zones in the southern suburb of the capital. Vimbe Champugu, originated from Zimbabwe, has just been crowned Miss London 2019. Due to her height, 1.74 m, the 24-year-old woman took part in the competition that took place from 31st July to 1st of August 2019 in Newcastle. This is the first time in the history of this contest that a black woman takes the title. That's the end of our newscast of the day, but keep watching Gabon 24 for further news.